Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about wetlands, and we're going to be making a filter system that sort of replicates how wetlands filter our water when it flows through the wetlands. So let's get started. So first we're going to be using a 2-liter bottle that we're going to cut in half. So I'm going to use my knife. Poke into the bottle, and then I'm going to use scissors to cut the rest of the way around. So this is something that you might need an adult to help you with. Alright, so now we have our two pieces. The next part of the filter is I'm going to put a coffee filter on the bottom. That covers up the hole. That just helps keep the materials that we're putting into the top of the bottle. And it also helps filter the water a little bit as well. Alright, so we're going to put this in here like this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some bigger gravel. So mine is from an aquarium, so it's going to be blue. But that's okay. You can use whatever you have around the house. So some sort of bigger gravel. So we're going to pour that in. So about there. The next thing we're going to pour in is our sand. So we're going to slowly pour it in. Make a layer. And then you can see the different layers. The sand is filled in a little bit of the gaps. That's sort of what it would happen in the wetlands, where you'd have rocks and then you'd have some sand sitting on top, and they'd mix a little bit. And I'm going to put in some gravel. Ooh. So sort of what would be on the bottom of the bed of the wetland. And normally there would also be some plants sitting on top, but I don't have real plants with roots to go in, so I'm not going to add them. So now we're going to take some really dirty water and we're going to pour it in the top, and then we're going to see what it looks like when it comes out the bottom. So as it goes through, I'm noticing the top part is collecting some of that dirt. And let's get some grass in here. There. So all the stuff from the bottle went in. And the slower it moves through the filter, the better it is at filtering the dirt and other things that you don't want in the water. So it's already starting to drip out, and it already looks better than when it went in. So it was really dirty when it went in. It still has some dirt in it, but it's not as dirty as it was before. So wetlands are filters for water coming off the land. It helps reduce sediment and chemicals and runoff before it goes into open water like rivers or oceans or lakes. The chemicals and sediment found in the water running off the land could kill fish and amphibian eggs, smoother bottom feeding wildlife and plants, and it also would clog waterways. So in wetlands, the water flow slows down and it allows all the sediment that was in the water to drop out and settle to the wetland floor, and then nutrients that are found in the runoff from the land, such as manure, sewage systems, and other sources, are absorbed by the leaves and stems from the plants that are found in wetlands and are used to grow the plants. And then other nutrients are trapped in the soil of the wetlands and used by microorganisms there. All right, so this is how we make a filter. So it's really easy and fun to do. So wetlands are found all around the world. So there are many different kinds of wetlands. So this picture and this picture are pictures of cypress swamps, which are tropical. And then this one is a picture of tropical wetlands with palm trees. And they go by many different names. So this is a tropical wetland. This is a wetland garden found in Japan. This is a riverside marsh in Europe. And this is a coastal wetland in North America. So in Canada, there are 3 common wetlands. So the first one is a marsh. Marshes usually include shallow open water, so less than 2 meters deep. Different plant communities thrive in different areas and include cattails, rushes, and sedges, as well as water lilies and other floating and underwater plants. Marshes are very productive. Marsh plants convert sunlight and nutrients into living matter more efficiently than most other ecosystems, including forests and farmlands, and so support a remarkable variety of fish and wildlife. The second one is a swamp, which is here. Swamps are dominated by trees and shrubs and are important to many plants and animals. White-tailed deer use dense conifer swamps for winter cover, and wood ducks, owls, and other birds often nest in the hollow trees of swamps. And then the third kind is bogs. Bogs are common in the boreal forest. They are acidic and include sphagnum moss and plants like sundew and skunk cabbage. Both sundew and skunk cabbage are insect eaters that attract and digest insects for extra nutrients. So birds live in wetlands. So this one is called a green-winged teal. And this small dabbling duck arrives in Canada in early spring. It nests on dry land near wetlands. Its nest is hidden in grassy clumps or under low shrubs. And then this is a flamingo. This tall wading bird feeds on shrimp and other small wetland creatures. Its bill is designed to allow it to suction in water while its head is upside down. There are many kinds of flamingos throughout the tropics, although some kinds are disappearing due to the loss of their local wetlands. Many, like this wood duck, nest and raise their young in or near wetlands. So the wood duck male is the most colorful duck found in Canada. They nest in tree cavities. Groups within Canada help improve the nesting habitat for these birds by installing nesting boxes in areas where there are few trees available for nesting. Wading birds depend on wetlands for their food and water. So this ibis here uses its curved bill to dig in the mud for food and small crustaceans. It's revered in Egypt and seen in hieroglyphs. And then here is the marabou stork, one of the world's largest flying birds. Eats most kinds of animals, living or dead, and nests in large colonies near marshes. And then this one is an egret. An egret is found in much of the world and is protected by international law. In the past, its population was decreased greatly as people hunted it for its beautiful feathers, mostly for ladies' hats. Other animals need wetlands too. So this is an alligator. So alligators and other reptiles such as turtles, snakes, crocodiles, and caiman are found in many southern wetlands. Alligators are predators who play an important role in the food chain. And then we have here is the painted turtle. So the painted turtle are common in marshes, swamps, and around lakes, rivers, and streams in southern Canada. They get their name from their bright markings, which you can see underneath. And then this one, which is the raccoon, They are highly adaptable, but their most natural setting is a wetland. The raccoon is a night hunter, an expert climber, and a strong swimmer. It is a major predator of duck nests in many areas. Fish, many insects, and amphibians like the frog lay their eggs in wetlands. So this is a dragonfly on a cattail. Dragonflies lay their eggs on underwater plant stems. They hatch into nymphs which live in the water and eventually change, through metamorphosis, into adults. Dragonfly nymphs and other adults are both predators and carnivores. And then we have fish up here. Fish are found in wetlands around the world. Over 1 billion people around the world depend on fish as their main source of protein. And then we have frogs. Frogs are amphibians. Frogs lay their eggs in water. These hatch into tadpoles, which eventually begin to grow legs, absorb their tail, and change into their adult form. For others, it is an important place to find water to drink. So zebras are here drinking at the water hole. Water holes like this are an important watering place for African wildlife. Migrating wildlife, such as these ducks, rest and feed in wetlands. Wetlands contain amazing plants and soils. Wetlands are amongst the most biologically diverse ecosystems in the world. Many of the world's wetlands are rich in plant life and have a cycle of growth and decay, which carries a nutrient-rich environment. Deposits of soil from the water carried to the wetland by rivers and floods add to this. And then plants have many special adaptations. Some wetland plants include giant water lilies, carnivorous plants like Venus flytraps and sundews, trees with special roots and trunks. Wetlands act like filters and help to clean our drinking water. Wetlands filter water, so natural systems help to clean water. As water flows through a wetland or seeps into the ground below, it is filtered and cleansed. Many wetland plants have the ability to absorb metals and other pollutants through their roots, removing them from the water. Wetlands store water during dry seasons and droughts. So these are elephants at a watering hole. Watering holes like this are extremely important in places that experience regular dry seasons or droughts, but they are important everywhere. In Canada, we also experience dry years and droughts, and wetlands provide reserves of water for wildlife and for our drinking water supplies. Wetlands also help prevent flooding. So this is a mangrove swamp bordering a river. So wetlands such as these mangrove swamps, which are found in Mumbai, India, provide an important buffer zone for rivers and shorelines. The extensive root system of many wetland plants prevents soil from being washed away by waves or tides. Many important food plants originated in wetlands. Rice originated in the wetlands of Southeast Asia. It is now the staple diet of over 3 billion people worldwide. And this is a picture of mechanical harvesting of cranberries. So cranberries originally were found in bogs, which are a kind of wetland, in the northern hemisphere. They were used locally as a food for many centuries, but are now popular for juice, dried snacks, and other uses. People around the world rely on wetlands for their food. So in this picture, it is World Wetland Day, which is February 2nd. It is recognized by groups around the world. On World Wetlands Day in Hong Kong, this student acts the role of a fisherman in a play to show the audience how important wetlands are to their everyday lives. And then up here is a fishing hut. So this is a fishing hut along a river's edge in Italy. And then down here is paella, which is a traditional Spanish seafood and rice dish. So shrimp, clams, and many other crustaceans, and over 2/3 of marine fish species rely on coastal wetlands at some stage in their life cycle. People are working to learn about wetlands and their inhabitants. So research is an important part of understanding the health of wetland and the life within it. It helps to identify problems and solutions. So in this picture, there are volunteers assisting a researcher in surveying the numbers and kinds of fish in a river. This can tell a lot about the river's health, and comparing over time, can show whether it is improving or deteriorating. And then in this picture is a researcher checking a duck egg to assess the growth of the duckling inside the egg. So let's learn more about wetlands and how we can help together. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about wetlands and doing an experiment making a filter. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye guys.